top 6 forward, are you not? Like, is that fair to say?
You're at least middle
Or
six.
defenseman, like a top forward pairing.
In terms of forward, though, you're drafted to be a middle six.
An impact player consistently
in the worst case scenario, you are a middle six forward.
We're the bench boys. We're the bench boys. Coming to you live. We're the bench boys. We're the bench boys. Coming to you live. So why not plug in and listen to us? Rant about our favorite team.
When the fuck did Lucic play for the Kings? Did he actually? Oh fuck.
This team forward is three groups. There's some
Must have been trade deadline or something.
And I would separate it into pretty much every other forward on our team except for like the in and out guys. Like
Wow.
basically guys that
Welcome to the show.
Oops.
Brought to you by ACDC. Just kidding. Don't sue us.
I was gonna go.
That was an ACDC. You shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, I mean it was DCMC.
It was 6 seconds of somebody.
Yeah, 6 seconds. Goodness. Okay. What's up? It's December 27th, and this is the Bench Boys podcast. What's up? I hope you all had a great Christmas.
Yes. Yes.
Yes and
I hope you
yes. It's just me and Brett in studio today. Yeah, so after Christmas happens, Boxing Day rolls around, and immediately the hockey world has one thing on their mind, and that's World Juniors. And, there's no other NHL hockey. There's no hockey period other than the World Juniors. So, it's kind of tradition, I think, for most hockey fans to just be sitting there watching World Juniors all day. And, damn, it started off with a, pretty big bang. Of course, you had the Canada-US game, which ended up 6-4 for, I'm going to say the good guys.
Yeah, the good guys up here in the north.
It was an intense game, though, and both those teams are damn deadly, for sure. And another thing to keep in mind is both teams went 3-5 on the power play, so they both got some juicy power up front on the PP.
Yeah.
And that's something to take note of, because that kind of got Canada in trouble at the start of the game.
Yeah, no, it definitely did.
Let's see, I was just bringing up the old thing. Oh yeah, here we go. So yeah, the captain, Mr. Barrett Hayton. So keep this in mind too. There's a few players on this team that are, nearing NHL status. And there's a few players that are on the Arizona Coyotes. And, Barrett Hayton is one of them.
Yeah.
He's captain. And he's played a little bit in the NHL this year. I think he played 14 games.
Well, they allowed him to go.
Yeah.
If they didn't, I wonder, he's a great player. I'm glad they let him come.
Yeah, actually, and that's a legit move, because he did play 14 games with them this year already. I think he has, 1 goal and 4 assists, something like that. Let me just check what it was. Yeah. 1 goal, 3 assists in 14 games. But yeah, that's it's what's the other player that didn't end up going? Was it Jack Hughes,
Yeah,
actually?
Jack Hughes.
Yeah.
I was talking about him a few episodes ago, how I was shocked that they wouldn't let him go.
Right.
And I'm like, why wouldn't you? You guys, it's not
Frickin'
going to
New
make
Jersey.
a big difference. It's Jersey.
Come on,
You gave
boys.
away Hall already. We didn't give him away. You made a good, decent trade for Hall.
Yeah.
You're giving people away. Why don't you let him go, experience something that he can actually be good at?
Yeah, and he's not gonna help you do anything.
But you know what? He'd be on the American team, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah, for sure. And I guess Quinn Hughes is probably too old now, isn't he?
I don't
Because
know,
he's
how
a
old
year
is he?
older than Jack, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, early early penalty by the old captain there. And oh my gosh, let me find the tab again. There it is. And yeah, of course, quick goal on the PP by the Americans. This Shane Pinto guy, man. He's you know, mind you, they have played 2 games. They played earlier today as well, and they got their first win. But Pinto has 6 points.
He got 2 goals, 1 assist, and 3 points just in that game.
Yeah, and then I think he got another 3 points in.
So it doesn't matter if you hit him.
Where was
one of
it?
your guys is
What
gonna keep
page
shot,
was it
all
on?
you guys. And I'm gonna go chop your ankles.
I think he got another 3 points though in this game. So, here we go. Yeah, he would have had. What did he have? 2 goals, 1 assist. Yeah, he had a goal and 2 assists today. So
And I think that
Good for him.
keep an eye on this guy because obviously he's pretty decent.
Hey, Bob was talking about him.
Yeah.
That Bob guy.
Yeah, you got to listen to Bobby Mack, dude. He
knows
knows
his
what
stuff.
he knows what he's talking about. Guy could be a frickin' scout, and in the NHL probably if he wanted to. But yeah, you know, that's gonna be one thing that the Canadian team is gonna have to look out for, and they've gotten into trouble with this in the past years of just, you know, taking too many penalties and getting screwed over. So something to keep in mind, and I know they're gonna be keeping that in mind.
Yeah. One other thing that I noted is Canada's goaltending's been weak for a little while, and I still
Yeah.
find it a little weak in this tournament.
Yeah,
But if the boys can play like they did in the second and third there and come back and win the game like that, especially after the U.S. ties it up 4-4, and then
Right.
on the next face-off, you're just like, you know what, boys, let's do this. And you go in, you take you take the puck away in midair, and you're just like, bink,
Yeah.
it's in. Okay, we got 3 minutes left. Let's go, boys.
Alexis Lafreniere. God, that's gonna be such a mouthful to say that name. But Lafreniere, oh my God, the rated #1 top prospect for next year's draft by every single person in the world.
Yeah.
And if you don't have him #1, you're probably pretty stupid,
Yeah.
honestly, because everybody has this guy going first.
I don't, yeah.
And he is going to be a game changer in the NHL.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, and the thing that's a little bit different about him than I think, you know, some of the other top performers that have come out of drafts and World Juniors in the past is that this guy's got, like, he has like everything in his arsenal. He's a solid boy,
Yeah.
turning into a man, and he's got some hands. He's got a nose for the dirty areas. He's gonna be insanely good. Who else did I? Oh yeah, so our other podcast is the Colorado Avalanche podcast that we run, Offside by a Mile, for the Hockey Podcast Network. Check it out. Anyway.
Sponsored by no.
But so I kind of, you know, tried to. I didn't get to see a lot of this game, but I saw some of the replays, and I'm going to be paying attention a lot to Bowen Byram. And he looked like garbage in this game. Like, he did not look that good. And I think it was like the 3rd goal by the Americans, if I'm thinking correctly. Either 3rd or 4th. And I think it's the 3rd. But he just fails all over the ice in the D zone. It's like, oh boy, running around. And that's one thing that I did notice about him in preseason when he played for the Avs. That's going to be one area that, you know, it's kind of not irregular for defensemen that are that young. Like kind of like Quinn Hughes even, but he's been doing quite a bit better. But to have that defensive side down it's a lot more difficult, especially at the NHL level. But this is where he's got to start, is in this tournament. And he didn't look too good to me. And on that one goal, he looked pretty bad. Just lost coverage, running around. He was like, uh-oh, Bowen.
Oh no! So he's playing like the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, exactly. Don't add to the fire of their freaking defensive blunders lately.
So he's playing we don't cover a guy in our zone game.
Right.
Why would we do that? We can score 8 goals a game.
Yeah, well, right. And that's, you know, not a good habit to have
That's
of
not
any
good.
kind. Yeah.
Brushing up on the young boys. You got to change that.
Yeah. But yeah, like Lafreniere, oh my gosh. That guy is so good. And like his vision, you know, you always see like a few players in the World Juniors that are just kind of a step up from everybody else. Obviously, he's one of them. Pinto's one of them on the Americans.
No.
But like Lafreniere's got like that crazy vision,
I think the biggest thing is, though, is
and
that
he's
he
like,
bounces
you
to
know,
his
it's
zone.
like reminds me of kind of like Cale McCarr in a way. Even though, you know, obviously he's not a forward, I know, but like the vision and IQ and like predictive aspect of his game is just so good. And, like all of his assists are just beautiful.
Yeah, no chance.
The
Yeah,
goal
again,
is like
you
you're a
also see
dick.
fucking protect-
Like that was a dick move against the Americans. They
Yeah, so
just
it's-
screwed
yeah,
it
I
up.
would agree with that.
Yeah.
And he's just
I
like,
feel
"Fuck you guys!"
Success
Boom,
is
knocks it down.
allows you to,
Oh, and just like sneaks it right around him.
Yeah.
Has like literally a puck width to get behind the skate.
Like when you
It's
look,
like,
like
oh,
the defensemen were literally like a high slot. Like,
and
they're-
just
they're- and Fleury
basically,
hurts-
fuck you.
hurts how shit in this
tie the game up. Fuck you.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we're winning.
No, screw you. We're Canada. We're gonna come out and talk. No, it's good because Canada hasn't looked the best in the last few years at this.
Mhm.
So it's nice to see that extra push, in my opinion.
And especially because like
Yeah, seriously.
I'm trying to think. Last year we lost this game, right? I'm pretty sure Canada lost this game
I don't
against.
know what
I
the
can't
records
remember.
are.
It always gets so mixed up, right?
Now, what I've always been
But
curious about is why do fans
I know
like
we at
football?
least lost
You
the
can clearly
Americans
see-
once
and
last year.
And this goes for any
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first game,
If there's a
you
clear
know,
cut
that
against
Boxing
a
Day
team,
game is always
why do you boo? It makes
so
no sense. Like,
good
you can-
just to
they showed
set
it
the
on Jumbotron, they showed
tone.
all the angles.
And you know that
But, like,
you
when
know,
you're like, come on,
sc-
guys, like,
in
dude,
Group
literally
B,
this happened against
we
you,
know
and
who
it
the
was a
top
clear-cut
two
call,
teams are
and
going to
still
be,
you'd losing your
most
fucking mind.
likely.
Yeah,
Probably the
I don't know.
Americans
That's the
and
thing, like, I
probably
don't
the
think I've ever
Canadians, and they're going to be
called as
battling it
well,
out.
you clearly see it
And
was
then
clear-cut,
we'll
like,
see what
I'm like,
happens.
yeah, I'm
But
like, yeah, fucking sucks. I'm not about to go flip
looking
flop
at
on
like
it.
the pools too, this year for the World Juniors, I was just like, I feel like Group B is like quite a bit better. But then you think,
Yeah. And you're like,
oh
dude,
yeah,
what are you looking
like
at?
Finland,
how do you fucking
Sweden,
sense that? Like, it makes no sense to me.
those two teams are like
Do you have anything else?
getting better and better all the time.
Always.
I feel like every new age group is better than the last.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got that one coming.
And they've come a long way in their development, in obviously in both of those countries.
Oh yeah. Well, it's sad to say that yes, less and less Canadians will start to get in the league soon enough.
True that.
But
we were gonna talk about that.
It's
I forgot
because
to
of
mention,
how
obviously,
hockey's
you want
spread around the
regulation
world
win, I'm
now,
in,
not
but,
just from
like,
Canada.
you gotta get
Yeah.
some points. Like, you can't,
Like,
like,
you
need
go
a regulation
back-
win. You need it.
I bet
So,
you go back
again,
30
we're back to
years.
what I said
I
before,
bet you
60
80%
full
was
60
Canadian.
boys.
Oh yeah,
Like there probably
At
wasn't a lot
least.
of import players or
oh yeah,
cross-sea players.
exactly.
Where now it's open to everybody.
Yeah.
We'll take
But
anybody
this
from the
episode again brought to
KHL
you by
except for
MyBookie, parlays,
one guy,
free spins,
Kovalchuk,
Santa
which
coming
we're
around.
probably giving back
THPN,
again.
baby.
You guys can have 'em.
THPN,
We'll
boys,
see what
are-
happens
we're
at that.
still-
That's a
we're
weird,
still gems this
yeah,
week.
that's a weird situation still. But yeah, another guy to keep in mind is another Arizona draft, but moved over to New Jersey in that Hall trade, and that's Kevin Ball. And my God, is this guy a monster? 6'7", 240 pounds, legit like the next Zadorov, Chara, that kind of player. And you know that he's just going to be a major shutdown D-man.
Well, he's got to eat some more vegetables to be Chara.
Oh yeah, Chara's vegan, right? Maybe he is. He's like, I'm big boy too.
I'm big boy. I eat
Oh wait,
vegetables.
he's not Russian.
But he's
He's Canadian. Sorry, I was thinking Chara, you know.
yeah. With
Just naturally big guys in the NHL for me have that accent, so. And Chara's Czech anyway, isn't he? Yeah.
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. But yeah, that's something to keep in mind, and especially, you know, for the Devils. He's a big part of that deal. So obviously they're looking for him to, you know, turn some heads here and put his name, kind of stamp it in on this tournament. We'll see how he does going forward. You got anything else on that game?
No, no, the Canadian game, yeah. Like
It was a good game.
now, by no surprise, you expect the Canadians to come back like that. Like in Canada, we never turn it off. It's like, oh, it's 2-0.
Right. Well, it's
I'm
like
not
the 2014 like women's game, right?
Well, when we were in Sunshine.
Yeah, we were snowboarding Sunshine Mountain.
On
If you
my
guys know where that
birthday.
is, Sunshine
I
Village.
think it was on my birthday.
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah, because it was in February.
I think it was actually
Because
on my
Olympics
birthday.
are always in February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they were down and came back and won while we were having
We just
some beers and eating food.
Sat at the bar for like 2 hours. We're like, okay, well, we're not leaving now.
Well, you could, once it was close to getting tied, you could not get a seat in that place. Like the comeback
Yeah.
just started.
Yeah, so we're just like, okay, we'll just stay here,
Yeah,
drink some
that-
beers.
That was awesome.
That was freaking awesome. But yeah, like come back late, win the game in overtime. It seems to be kind of a Canadian trait.
You will never give up. This is a
Yeah.
Canadian trait.
There you go. So yeah, like that was a really good game. Definitely looking forward to the next match. Like, I guess it's not guaranteed that we'll play them again, right? It's not.
No.
I would imagine it will happen. What is? Let's see. Where? I want to see the schedule here. I haven't honestly looked at the schedule
It's
too
a New
much at
Year's
all.
Eve game. So New Year's Eve is Czech Republic.
Last year they didn't really have a lot of
Oh,
money.
here it is. There we go.
Just kind of goes into the playoffs. So
Yeah. So tomorrow is Russia,
and
1 p.m. Eastern, so 11 Mountain.
I feel like they're just bored after what happened last year where they thought
Right?
and then they just
Is that
lost
right?
the
Yeah.
biggest thing about
Yeah.
Canada, though, is, like,
Yeah.
I've made this argument to a friend.
Me going.
Two minus. I guess. Well, that's
Can't figure out which way the clock goes, going east and west.
1300 minus 2.
What could you really get by trading? What player
Yes.
could you really get? Could you get someone who
200.
11.
That's gonna be a good game though. So Russia, who did Russia play? They played Czech. They lost 4-3.
and maybe you'll prove me wrong later, but
Didn't see any of that game, unfortunately. Did you see
he looked pretty angry
the
about it.
goal
Yeah,
though?
Brady's pretty
Oh,
angry
you
about
know
it.
what? One thing I still have to
Maybe he is the
confirm
type of
is
player
if Russian
who scores
athletes
points that's gonna win them
that
games,
got
but he's
banned
really
from
close
that
to
world
the
ban thing are allowed to
Yeah,
play in
they're
this.
in the playoffs,
Oh yeah,
Sean
right.
signs it now. I think Cooper goes for 4.5
Obviously it's not
Like,
for
think of
this,
what you could do with the team if you switch
The-
around.
right?
I didn't actually look at their roster yet.
I would assume if Russia's playing. Yeah, let's see if there's like
But, you know,
any
it's
indication
something
of anything.
Nashville is another team I think that can turn it
Go to
around.
rosters. I would
Yeah,
assume.
I don't see anything either. Actually.
Yeah, no,
so-
and they're there, like, yeah.
Well, way to go, Czech Republic.
Yeah.
And
Did you see that goal though in that Finland-Sweden game? The frickin' lacrosse goal.
Oh yeah.
Man, he pulled it off better than Svechnikov.
It's starting, man.
He pulled that off better than Svechnikov.
Goalies are gonna start getting little like extra padding
Well,
up there.
and it's so funny, right?
gloves.
Because the D-man is like knows exactly what's happening, and he's like trying to get his stick there. He's like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna become a move that's going to be practiced, and used a lot more in games, for sure.
Or the NHL is gonna be like, no more of this. They're gonna round the nets, having, like corners.
Or they'll just like, yeah, no, don't take that away. Okay,
It's
what
happening
it,
more and more, and I wouldn't be surprised if it gets better.
I mean, like it's gaining. It seems like just like this year, it's really gained somehow a lot of popularity. Probably because of Svechnikov, I guess.
Yeah.
Realistically, and he's like, oh, that looks so good. Maybe I'll do it again. But like that guy, who was that? I gotta figure this out. Whoever this guy is, I can't remember his name. Saw it earlier today. Meant to remember, but oh my god, like that was so clean. And like, yeah, you can say it was like in the juniors and stuff, but dude was hauling ass behind the net, and he just pulled that out like spur of the moment. That's epic. So, you know, kudos, man. Love to see it. Anything else in the juniors we want to talk about? Oh, right. The goal that was scored on Kazakhstan on day one.
Well, yeah, that one goal on Kazakhstan. If you haven't seen it, it's all over Twitter. Just search Kazakhstan own goal. I'm sure it'll pop up right away. And yeah, just hits his skate and he spins around, does a spinorama, puts in his net. If he would have stood still or did a butterfly or something, would be there.
Yeah, goalie blender, man.
No idea what's going on there.
I mean, I would be more surprised if it was someone other than Kazakhstan, but hey, man, they're participating. They're 0-2. Slovakia beat them today, 3-1. I'm surprised that they scored 3 goals against Switzerland.
Me too.
That's impressive.
But you gotta think, there's only what 10 teams in this tournament.
Yeah.
So to make a top 10 team, like to overcome, let's say France, for example, or
Slovenia.
Slovenia, or
Who else? There's a
who else?
bunch. Trying to think of like who else is common in this tournament.
I think they're vastly overachieving right now. I think
I don't know.
he's just a hero.
You don't really hear about them much because they don't make it that far. But anyway, like they made the
He was just so fast.
or they played last year
It's too bad that Carolina was managed the way they were.
in the tournament,
'Cause I think he could have had even better.
came in 10th or whatever,
I just feel the same way
but
with
then
Boyz right now.
beat
I think they're just not a good team.
who was it? Switzerland or no, it was
There's some stuff around the league.
I just looked at this. Damn it.
Hard to say stupid name.
They beat someone Denmark. That so there you go. There's another
Denmark,
team.
right?
There's another country that's usually in it.
That's what I was thinking.
And they played in the relegation whatever games, whatever you call it, relegation games realistically. Beat Denmark twice
Generally a bad hit gets
to
penalized.
make
Usually
it
a bad
into
hit
this year's World
gets
Junior.
just let that be that.
So,
Anybody who
you know,
thinks that's a good thing is
that's
just-
like those
it doesn't
countries
make
are just
sense.
happy to be
Does it even
here
make sense?
and
Like in
be
golf, it's just
participating in the
somebody
tournament.
Oh
hit a
yeah.
ball next
Which
to
is
the
good,
draft
because, like,
and then they just
Kazakhstan,
put
what?
little tiny gloves and, like, start
It's like I was looking at like the breakdown
doesn't
of,
make sense.
you know,
Basketball, they just start having fist
their
fights.
kind of World Junior history, and they've been in it 6 times since like the '83, which is like the insertion of the
They don't
tournament.
allow fighting, and they don't allow
So,
shoving, and they're
you know,
extremely careful about how they do their scrums and everything.
7th time in the tournament out of 26 years, 27 years, I guess. Not too bad.
Yeah.
And, you know, I want to see them win a game. So who's in there? Let's see who they're playing coming up. Damn it, I'm on the wrong page. There we go. No, wrong one.
Who's
They
in there?
got Finland on Sunday. They're gonna get thrashed.
They should. Finland.
Sweden
Now you gotta remember
thrashed.
Finland won last year, so
Yeah,
over the United States.
I guess that's their only games left. So they might not get a win, but you know, make it interesting. Maybe they do. Maybe they somehow beat one of them. I don't know. Probably not. But yeah, you know,
It all depends what's in the water, Jared.
right.
What's in the water that day, or what they get at their
What's the
hotel.
water in Kazakhstan?
The water. If they import some water, you never know.
There you go. Get some from Edmonton. Oh no, it turned. I forgot.
Oh, we'll head there in a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty exciting. Again, it's just off to the start, so lots of hockey still to play.
Oh yeah.
Wraps up on the Sunday, January 5th. Expect to see Canada in at least one of those games.
Hopefully, yeah.
Because if they're not playing, we're not going to talk about them again.
yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll have one more epi
We'll have the Friday
before
one.
the final.
Yeah. So we should know by then. Pretty close to where they'll be sitting for what?
Ish.
Because what is it? Friday? Oh no. So Thursday. Thursday. Elimination starts.
Yeah, that's when semis start.
Yeah.
Should be interesting. Yeah, so Russia tomorrow, 1 a.m. Sorry, 1 p.m. Eastern. Not in the middle of the morning, middle of the night. Anyway, yeah, and then Germany on Monday.
All those Germans.
So he could be there next year, and he's a great power winger. Who could score a lot, and who just has so much just effort and drive in him to help drive lines and push team. He could be a really good fit with.
Yeah.
And then there's
What am I? Where do you want to go from here?
Well, I was gonna say, we were already joking a little bit about Edmonton, so we could slide into there.
Okay. Yeah, Flames and Edmonton play tonight.
I was gonna say they're playing right now.
Oh yeah, they probably just started about half an hour ago, I guess.
As we're as we're doing this live, they're playing. Flames are actually up 1-0.
Oh my God, was it Lusick?
It was early in the period, and I did miss it, so I'm gonna look it up right now. Just to
Nice.
see who did score it.
But yeah, it was funny. They're showing
more than enough to sign him.
some of the stuff obviously before the game, like oh Lucic and Neil. And Neil hasn't. I saw the one stat hasn't scored a goal at home in 10 games, and then Lucic has kind of been on a decent kind of roll for him.
Matt Giappani scored
Oh man, and how good has he been?
11 seconds into the game.
Oh my God,
It's fine.
that's
Not sure what happened there,
Every time they're not first.
but
that's how you start it.
way to go, Flames.
That's how you start the Battle Alberta,
That's how you
man.
do it. Now, if we would have come in here, now this is the first Battle Alberta this whole season, which is shocking.
Yeah,
Now, if you would have come in here in the middle of November and been like, Battle of Alberta, Calgary fans would not have been talking about this. Or wanted to talk about this.
It's been like, ah, shit.
It's just a cesspool.
Edmonton probably would have destroyed them too, just by what was going on.
Probably at that point in the season, guaranteed.
But
The Flames
now-
were bad. The Oilers were good.
Here we are on December 27th, and this game actually means something.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not. It actually means something, and it's gonna be a good game. From what I've seen, it's a good game so far.
Oh, guaranteed it's gonna be a good game. Yeah, man. Like, you know, these seasons are really, for both these teams, are really just like lining up into my dream of finally having another fucking Oilers and Flames playoff series. It's like, it's possible this year.
It's possible, but the Oilers got to keep going, and the Flames. Excuse me. I'm a little bit sick, so I'm trying to keep going.
There you go.
Fights, highlight reel plays, especially Obi. There's no better way to win by
He's dying.
We're okay. I'll get the milk in a second. Now, unfortunately, I forgot what I was saying.
Something about the Flames and Oilers.
Definitely about them.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, Mangiapane, damn, he's been good this year. Yeah, 11 seconds in, that's insane. Can't wait to see that replay. Yeah, Manji has been one of the more consistent Flames all year long.
Oh yeah.
And this dude tries his ass off all the time. And, like, I feel like that, I don't know who they got going today, because I'm looking right now, and it says Dubé's out with Lindholm and Kachuk. But Mangiapane, Lindholm, Kachuk has been, like, a very nice line that, like, I didn't even see
Oh yeah.
before. Like, Ward kind of just, like, threw them together, and I was like, oh, there we go. Mangiapane just came out on the ice with them. On the NHL site. I guess
Oh,
the
okay.
game's right there, and it's in the whistle. You're like, what the fuck? But, yeah, like, that's been a good line. And, like, those are three dudes that, like, work their ass off. Like, and very good defensively as well.
Yeah,
so.
no, I got to give it to Ward the way he came in there and he moved. He made everyone play with everybody, like throwing Johnny to the third line.
Yeah,
But
playing with Lucic and shit.
Mangiapane was actually on the first line for a while there. Like he moved them around, and then he came up with these kind of line combinations he has right now,
Mhm.
and they're working.
Yeah.
Now Lucic, I know, hasn't scored a goal in a couple games, but again, he was playing with some pretty good players at the time he scored those goals.
And plus, it's fucking Lucic, so it's not like we expect him to score that
Yes.
much.
Yeah.
This would be a great game. Speaking of, Kachuk just scored.
Look at that.
This would be a great game for Lucic to score, obviously.
Obviously.
Revisiting his old barn.
Now, any Oilers fan will say this is a great game for Neil to get a goal too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true. Now, I don't even know if Neil scored in December.
Oh my god, what a play. Speaking of Mangiapane, just, oh, what a beauty.
So who does 90% of the work there?
Oh man, that was nice.
That couldn't have been easier shot.
Right. Just a gift for Kachuk in front. He's like, all right, not going to miss that. Yeah, nice.
Of course, these Oilers are wearing their great black and
Oh,
stupid
yeah,
orange
the
jerseys.
friggin' Team North America jerseys.
Team NA.
But yeah, this is going to be a good game tonight. And yeah, that Pacific Division is super intriguing.
Oh, yeah.
And like Vegas came out, right? Like we all kind of saw this coming anyway. But, you know, Flames are hanging on to that last wild card spot. We beat Edmonton today. Leapfrog McGee's were in third.
Yep.
So, you know, huge implications on the Pacific with this game tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Like I said, it's a big game. It's a month ago, this would not have meant anything.
right. Well, maybe for Edmonton. And then there's,
That's true.
you know, like this Pacific is just going to be, it's going to be like this all year. It's going to be such a dogfight.
Oh, yeah.
And like that's like the thing that Tyler put. I don't know if he put it on Twitter or if it was just in our group message. But like the projected point totals for the end of the year,
Oh, yeah, he put that in our message.
and like what was it, like 92 points or something.
96, 94, 92 or something. Or
Yeah, like-
96, 95, 92.
Yeah, like I think it was like 92 or 90 was like the last team in the Pacific to get in. Like what? 90 points, 92 points even. It's like what? How are you getting in? But I don't know. It's gonna be a dogfight, and you know, I guess the Central's quite a bit. You know, it's a little bit different. A little bit, you know, the Blues and the Colorado Avalanche have like a little bit more of a lead, but like this Western Conference is just so tight, and that's just kind of like the general, you know, NHL.
Yeah.
Just the parity is unbelievable. It's just like getting tighter and tighter every year. It feels like there's usually like 2-3 teams that are completely out of it, 2-3 teams that are completely going to make it, and then everybody else, it's like I don't know.
Well, let's just run down this quick. You got St. Louis with 54 points, Colorado 49, Arizona 46, Vegas 46, Winnipeg 44, Dallas 44, Edmonton 44, Calgary 43, Nashville 42, Vancouver 42, Minnesota
so close.
41. Then you have Chicago. This is where it cuts
Yeah,
off a
exactly.
little bit. But you got Chicago 36, Anaheim 34, San Jose 34, and then Perfect Kings. Dowdy, how's it feeling down there?
Yeah,
How to play hockey?
bitch.
34.
How good does it feel to look at the bottom of the West and see all the California teams?
I was just going to say that the other day. It's very interesting to see Hockey State.
Well, actually, yeah, like look at the bottom 4 teams. Chicago.
Like-
We'll get into Chicago in a sec too.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff going on there, too.
But like
Sad.
like San Jose, man.
But look how tight
They're
this
blowing
is.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. So like, you know, one team have one bad week, 3 games. You lose 3 games in a row. A team wins 3 in a row and can like totally take you out of the system.
Oh, yeah.
like if Edmonton right now loses 3 in a row, and Calgary wins 3 in a row, Edmonton's like getting buried.
Yeah.
Like all, you know.
Or you do it the other way. You say Chicago wins 4, and Nashville loses 4.
Right.
They flip-flop, basically.
Yeah. Like it's gonna be such a close fight, and you know this. If there's any indication of the end of the year, going through the start of the year, like how many times have we seen teams flip-flopping everywhere?
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Like, except for Arizona, who somehow they've been just really consistent. There's been other teams, like Vegas was way lower.
Yep.
Edmonton's been all over the fucking map.
Yep.
Calgary's been all over the fucking map.
Yep.
Vancouver's been all over the fucking map. Like, which is funny, all the Canadian teams in the Pacific are just, like, not, like, who knows even who they are yet?
Yeah.
Like, who knows? Any one of those teams could make the playoffs still, easily. And maybe none of them will. Who knows? Because you got, like, Minnesota, like, this team who's playing unfucking real right now. So, like, 14... What was the stat I
Yeah,
saw?
the month of December, they're on fire.
Yeah, like, since November 23rd, I think it was, or something. They're, like, 14-4, which is the best record in the Western Conference. And it's like, what? Fucking Minnesota? So, like, who knows? Maybe they fucking cling on to a wild card somehow. Like, who even knows? Maybe it's going to be a 5 team, or 5 central team.
Yeah. The only thing that I don't want to see, and I'm knock on wood here because it seems to happen all the time.
That's a good, solid, prepared
I
knock.
don't want the California teams to flip with the Canadian teams.
Oh, can you imagine? Nah, see, and that's the thing with, like, LA, they're so garbage now. The only team I could see is maybe Anaheim. Maybe San Jose. San Jose just seems like a lost cause. It seems like they're just over.
I would have picked San Jose over Anaheim, but I just don't know what's going on with either.
Yeah, like,
I knew the Ducks would not be as good this year, but not this bad.
yeah, exactly. And, like, all of those teams are just, like, solid regression.
Like, the Ducks can't pay for a win. Like, they can't pay the other team to just go home and take the win. They can't do it.
Yeah. And like, oh, the
Oh.
Oilers scored.
The Oilers.
Just look
they
over
did
and I
it.
see fucking
Was it
McDavid.
Nurse?
It's probably McDavid.
He was in the face-off.
Oh, it was Nurse. You're right.
Nurse.
Nurse and the Oilers
Oh,
back to
who
health
was it
here.
from though? Probably McDavid.
Oh, probably. It was probably some crazy play.
It's probably on the power play.
What they did do is they
Oh, that was the other guy in
basically it's $1,000.
World Juniors to keep an eye on. Is a different Connor Mick.
That-
That's
I don't
Connor
think
McMichael.
I do a little.
I like this McMichael.
Okay, to me,
Isn't that funny?
if
Connor
this
McDavid,
guy's coming from
Connor
behind,
McMichael.
throws him head first into the
And he's going to be
net,
damn
Mark
good as well. So
takes a shot and completely limps
keep
up.
an eye on that guy
Okay,
too.
yeah, take the hit then. Gets clipped.
Um,
Hits the inboard and bounces
but yeah,
off and bounces
so
a little bit, but I don't think he's actually hurt.
speaking of Chicago,
He got him slow.
they got some doo-doo news.
The wind knocked out again.
I don't even know when the news came out. It was probably a couple days ago or just before Christmas. I'm not sure.
I don't think that this is. Yeah, they're Gerard, a fucking
Oh my
Seabrook.
God, did I close it? No, it is.
This
It's
right
right there.
It's,
Anyway,
I mean, Sam Gerard is not a
Brent
big-
Seabrook
he's a physical presence, but he won't, he's not a guy
is
that's
having
gonna
hip
make.
and shoulder surgery.
Yeah, well, yeah. So he's going in first for shoulder surgery, and then because he.
Soldier surgery.
Wow, I screwed that one up.
Shoulder
I pulled a Tyler,
surgery.
everybody. At least I didn't say it wrong. Shoulder surgery. That's what he's going in first, and then they decided because you won't be able to come back. Basically, you might as well do both your hips.
Oh,
So he's
right.
gonna
He's
do
getting
shoulder
both.
and both his hips done.
Like, Jesus.
So,
So is this the end of his career? It might be, because
Oh, yeah, he has
that's a full year of rehab in my opinion. for
surgery
both
on his
hips.
right hip in January, left hip in February.
Yeah, not walking for a month probably.
That's so brutal. And
How old is
shoulder
he?
surgery.
30...
34.
Yeah,
That's like it. That might be it.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's
I feel like that's kind of like the vibe I've seen off lots of tweets and just articles. Is like, this might be it.
now what's he getting paid again though?
Oh, fucking so much.
So that might be helpful for you.
So that's
Chicago fans.
that is one helpful, and it's majorly helpful. And who knows if something good just starts happening in Chicago somehow?
Yeah,
Maybe.
like
You never
Subban
know.
shows up there.
Subban's junk this year anyway.
No, they probably don't want him in Jersey. They just want Hughes. They just don't want to send him to the World Juniors. He needs to get better on a terrible
See,
team.
oh yeah, so 6.875.
So that's still a good chunk of money.
So that's all going to be on LTIR.
Yeah.
Plus DeHaan, Calvin DeHaan
right,
also
as well.
is having fucking shoulder surgery.
It's almost
season
like
ending.
these guys ran into each other. And they broke their shoulders.
Just- we're not going to talk about how we did this in practice, you two running together. We're just going to say the injuries, okay?
Freaking gauntlets.
Can you imagine just like destroy each other? Ah, they're out for the year. And okay, so like that's oh my God, this is crazy bad for Chicago. Like some of the worst news you could get. Basically, it means you're fucked. You got two guys who play right around 20 minutes a night out of your lineup.
And
For
power
the
play.
year.
That's special teams.
Right. Yeah, penalty kill, especially for both of them, I would assume. Maybe not DeHaan. I don't know. But that sucks. Like they're not too far off too, right? Like you never know what could have happened. And you still never know what's going to happen. But in my opinion, that pretty much seals the deal for them and put the last nail in the coffin because they're fucked. Like you're out two of your top D for the year.
No, I feel like, well, see, and that's the thing. I don't know if it's two of your top D for the year. I think it's one of your top D for the year, and I don't think Seabrook's coming back.
Well, yeah, exactly, right? It might be you lost your one of your franchise defensemen
Yeah.
forever. Yeah,
Unfortunate.
3 surgeries. That's like, how do you even come back from that, especially at 34
Right.
and double? Hey, I guess Ian Cole did it. How old is Ian Cole? Let's see.
That's 31, 32,
30.
31.
So he's a little bit younger.
4 years.
But I guess, it is possible because Cole did it and he came back and he's like better than he used to be somehow. So I don't know, maybe, and you never know too because
You gotta look, but what? Seabrook's got 3 Stanley Cups. Like,
Oh, like if he had to call it quits, it's like whatever
do you really? Yeah, like
for him, and he's got a family too.
take some of that money, peace out.
Right. And like the thing is too, if he can't even play, he's still gonna be getting paid anyway.
Yeah, so it's
So-
like
And he's already made a fuck ton of money.
he's got 3 rings. He's made a bunch of money. I'm sure he's made a ton on advertisements because him and Keith were the thing back then. They've
Yeah.
did commercials together. I'm sure.
Oh, and plus, yeah,
So-
and then, yeah,
I don't know, man. Take care of your health.
yeah, exactly. Health first, right, man? You don't want to be a freaking cripple or all effed up after your
Yeah.
hockey career.
Do you not want
There's
to
more
be
to
able
life.
to like run around or climb up 25 sets of stairs to go down a water slide with your kid one day at Walt Disney World?
Right, and you got your fucking 2 fucked up hips, and you can't
Yeah.
even carry your son because your shoulder's fucked.
And you're like, oh, I'm 38 and I can't move.
Yeah, and I'm a cripple. So yeah, just take care of your body, and that's the thing too. If he can come back in the future, you never know. Maybe he can still play some good hockey. You've seen some players take some extended like breaks for
Regan,
injury.
if you're listening, you tell Brent.
Regan, my man.
Pass the message along. He can join us.
Pass
right
it on
here
to
as a
Dana.
third. He's got something for him to do.
Yeah, yeah, you know. Just we can pay you a couple beers an episode.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
It's well worth it. But yeah, you know, like Dahan quite a bit younger.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate.
Still terrible news.
And then also Brandon Saad injured for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Or
Not as
or
bad.
so. Not as bad.
Not as bad.
Still important.
You never want to hear when a player gets hurt or injury. You really don't want to hear when a player has to have surgery.
Yeah, surgery.
You really don't want to hear when a player has to have surgery and it could end his career.
Right.
I don't know if anyone's talked about that yet, but we have, and that's what I think. So
Yeah, and you know, all the best to Seabrook. He's a beauty. He's been around for a long time. He's definitely been one of the better defensemen in the league at times. Won 3 cups, like you said. There's not much more that you can do and that you need to do.
Yeah.
So, good luck. If you come back, I'll be excited to watch you again. But
yeah,
if
we'll
you
be
can't,
watching.
then, you know, you had a fucking good career there, bud. A lot more than a lot of people have.
Yeah.
So, you know, not too bad for Mr. Brant Seabrook. Other than that, well, what else did I want to talk about? Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Well, we really haven't talked about the East at all.
Yeah.
Like Boston and Pasternak, really. Is he going to stop?
Huh.
I don't know.
Yeah, they were playing. I think they already finished, right? They were playing Buffalo earlier.
Yeah, they were actually.
What was the final in that? It was 3-0 Boston, and I'm assuming Pasternak got another point,
Why wouldn't he?
which would take him to 6 games again, I think. The dude is friggin' yeah. He got 2 assists, of course. Marchand from Pasternak, or sorry, Bergeron from Pasternak and Marchand. Bergeron from Marchand and Pasternak.
Classic. For any of you
my
hockey
God.
fantasy people out there, that would be 2 players to keep in your line and on your top
At all times.
at all times.
Like, man, that line is so good. Easily best line in the league. There's no fucking doubting it. And like for like the last 3 years,
Yeah.
like
just
I don't.
doesn't-
Who's been better? You can't even say that fucking McDavid and
How many?
Draisaitl are better because there's no other person on that line ever.
It's got to be like a decade of Boston having a solid first line.
Yeah, it's been a fucking long time, and it kind of transformed into the like
They just keep
Marchand,
changing
Pasternak,
a couple players.
Bergeron.
Yeah. Mostly Bergeron and Marchand, but
But like, yeah, they've always had a really strong top line.
Yeah.
It's like even of the days of the Lucic,
was it
fucking
Krug
Krejci,
or
and
who was it? Play with them.
who?
Was it- Well, let me look it up quick, actually. Who was playing with them the year Ginlin went there?
Who's on Iggy's line?
No, who was on the Bergeron line?
Oh,
Bergeron.
Bergeron, Marchand, probably, and fucked if I know. It's a while ago. It would have been Bergeron,
I was
100%.
watching. Yeah, I was watching that season. I can't even remember what year that is.
It would have been like, yeah, it would have been Bergeron, Marchand. Who would be the other person that would be there? I don't know.
Call a 5-minute, or if they want to call a 5-minute, they can go to video review now. So at least
Because
that's-
it was Lucic, Krejci, Iggy. That was such a good line. And then, yeah, I don't
the
know.
referee's like, it's like a challenge play.
I can't even remember the fucking Flames team back
No, I
then.
think
Fair enough. I'm not gonna look it up and waste some time. But they've been I watched that year because of Gendlin there, and they just always pump up points on that top line. Just something about it.
Ever since, like, the year before they won the cup, they've been really, really fucking good.
That's true.
Pretty much every year. And beating the shit out of Toronto every year.
Well, they have to do that.
It's just tradition.
It's a rule.
But yeah, fuck, Boston is so good. That's like, I don't know. I'm trying to think if we did a podcast before. No, I think that was on Saturday. But the Washington-Boston game, I believe that was Saturday. Maybe it was Sunday, actually, too. Oh, yeah, because, wait, did we do our other podcast late on Sunday?
Nope, Monday. Monday night.
Oh, it was Monday. You're right. It was Monday. Right. Yeah. The Bruins-Washington game. Holy fuck, was that a good game. That was one of the most intense games. Like, they have, like, a serious rivalry going now.
Yeah.
Because they're like, you know, who's got the bigger dick in this conference.
There were some interesting games, this week. I agree. Like even though Tyler's not here, that Toronto-Carolina game, the 8-6
Oh,
2 days
yeah,
ago.
jeez.
In the middle of the day was the Kids' Day game, I guess.
Some of the shit that
what happened there?
Yeah, some of the shit that happened in that game was insane. That freaking Matthews play to Marner. Oh, my God.
Those
And, like,
guys.
That was a
Practicing
crazy
with
game.
Bieber. Jeez.
Practicing with Beebs. Yeah, Beeb had his little hoedown. Some of the Leafs were there.
That's how you know you're Canadian.
But yeah, like that Washington Boston game. Who was that hit that we were talking about? It was Oshie on.
Oh, I actually totally forgot.
Oshie on. Was it Pasternak? I think it was Pasternak, right? Just friggin' dummies him.
Was it Pasternak?
I think. I can't remember now. It's too long ago. Fucking. It's
Too
not
many
even that long.
memories of Christmas now.
Right? Like, man, Christmas week, it just, like, eliminates all my brain power.
Also, the alcohol helps.
Yeah. And just
With the
endless
nog.
amounts of food. Ooh, Pittsburgh's winning 5-1. Damn. Yeah, but the East is like, it's like a different situation
It definitely is a different situation.
than the West. The West is like very much up for grabs in a lot of cases.
Yep.
Um,
You have your normal teams fighting at the bottom, and then like Toronto and Montreal.
yeah, like the gap in
Points gap here is a lot bigger.
so crazy.
Like just from 15th to 16th, you got 30 and 21. There's a team with
Oh.
21 points,
You know who they are.
and it's Detroit.
They're so bad. And they just lost Anthony Mantha for another fucking 3 to 4 weeks probably, which is really fucking my pool, okay? So stop it. I don't want to put him on IR because I don't want to pick up another player. Fucking Mantha. And that sucks because he was really, really starting to break out at the start of this season. And, like, he had his, like, what, 4-goal game or whatever, his first fucking game of the year.
Yeah.
And then gets injured, comes back, gets injured right away. It's like, oh, man, that is fucking unfortunate.
Yeah.
I always feel so bad for, like, younger players like that who are really taking steps forward. It was like, who was it last? I think it was Mangiapane, yeah, last year. He freaking got injured later on in the season, and it was like, oh, man. Dude was just starting to take off. But, you know, part of the game, injuries happen. He's such a big guy, too, and, like, you know, you just... I wouldn't have thought that he would be a player to get injured this much, but, you know, luck and everything plays a factor. But, you know, Red Wings are fucked. That's about all you can say about that.
They're definitely not looking good this year. Maybe they
And
can change it around.
I don't know if they start fucking selling the farm here, or I don't even know what their plans are, honestly. Beats me. I don't pay any attention to Detroit either when it comes to, like, you know, office management and everything, general manager stuff.
I don't know.
So fuck, who knows? But they have pieces they could move if they wanted to, like Larkin, like
They ha-
Bertuzzi.
they could move some, but what do you
It's also
do
still in
there?
the future
Like,
and shit. Or who would even be players that you would? Yeah, they would never move those guys.
Almost
Who's
back
even
to-
like older players they could move? I don't even know.
Like, are they gonna turn into the next Atlanta?
No one's that bad.
Hopefully not. Like, get rid of the team, but like,
Don't put any.
are
hey,
they gonna get
NHL,
into a
just
point
saying.
where they just are so screwed they can't get any better?
Nah, it never happens. Look at fucking Lafreniere next year or some shit if they win the lottery. And then it'll be like, "Whoo, let's go!" And then they'll fucking be the best in the league somehow again. Go 26 straight years without fucking missing the playoffs.
You could be right on that. You never know.
Well, like a player like that could straight up turn your team around, right? It's like
It could. you're
he's
right.
like he's gonna be good. Like I don't know if he'll make David good. Not very many people are,
That's
except for like one.
Uh,
But he's gonna be fucking good. So who knows? You know, Jersey's kind of already got their guy that they're gonna build around. Obviously, Jack Hughes. So, and that's so funny to me. New Jersey and Detroit. Who would have known that these two teams would be basement as fuck? In any year, both those teams would be in the basement. Like, yeah, right. I'd be like, you're kidding me. There's no way. You're dreaming.
Yeah. Well, I would have thought Detroit would have been down a bit. Not in the bottom. Not this bad. Jersey, definitely not. Like, what happened?
Jersey, ever since getting fucked over by Kovalchuk, has
Yeah.
been hot trash.
I guess ever since then.
Their team has just
have a
gone nowhere.
curse.
Like Travis Zajac was supposed to be really good. They got rid of Pete Parisi. Like
Parise.
all the Parise
Parise.
back in the day.
Your name was Parise.
Come on, Zach. Your dad even pronounced it Parise, didn't he? I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, like Jersey and Detroit. Just rough. And then, you know, like I don't know what's happening with Tampa, but they seem to be kind of taking steps, and then they have like a bad game, and then they like look like they're starting to build something again, and then they have a bad game.
They're
Super
5-4
weird.
and 1 in the last 10. They're just playing that middle game right now. They just can't string anything really together.
Which is kind of what I was joking about. I think it was like earlier, might have been last week. Just like, oh, they're playing the like they learned from last year. Apparently, you're not supposed to kill everybody in the season and be like way too comfortable. You wanna have some nerves and have to battle for something. So you only have like you're only 2 points out of the playoffs, right? Yeah, because they would be third is Montreal at 42. So technically, they're only 2 points out of the playoffs with 2 games in hand on Montreal.
It's crazy.
Look how bad that Atlantic is. Pretty bad.
You know what? And with Toronto winning 6 in a row, that's given them a little bit of wiggle room here.
Right, and
But they're also 2 games ahead on most teams.
oh yeah, 2 game, yeah, exactly. That's the thing with Toronto is they have the opportunity to build on what they have right now and to actually really separate themselves a bit.
Yeah.
Because they have lots of room. Lots of room. If they can win a couple more in a row here, gives them a decent, like 3-game cushion
Yeah.
on Montreal. And, I'm really pulling for Montreal and Toronto to make the playoffs this year because we just need more Canadian teams in there. And I feel like Montreal is just like they're due for another little, thing in the playoffs. As is, Edmonton, of course, and Calgary, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then there's the Jets, who just seem to be really good somehow this year. Don't really know.
Without a bunch of players.
Don't really know. And
They're making it work.
Patrick Laine, he's a fucking beauty.
Yeah, this year.
Like, oh my god. He figured out how to play hockey in every area all of a sudden.
He was listening to Twitter over the summer, however, and was beaking him for holding out.
Yeah, and then he
Then he figured it
took
out.
his deal, which turned into a massive bargain at this point. For now. We'll see on the next deal what happens with that. Because if he keeps playing like this for the next, I think it's just a 3-year deal, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I can't honestly remember.
makes him a top line.
He's gonna get paid up the ass after that.
Sure. I'd say overall,
But
though,
you know, at the,
it's almost
actually, I think we
like
looked at
college.
that, and it kind of lined up with a lot of people changing over contracts. So it might actually work out for them. Pay him a bit more money, let someone else go, maybe.
Well, here's the thing. If you look at it, and
We'll
I
see.
think because these people, well, depending on what PK signs. but in Montreal, no.
Yeah, I think he'll retire there.
So
I don't really
for
know.
him, it's easy.
What
It's
else?
easy to quantify.
I was just gonna run through the weekend games quick, like we
Yeah, I
used
wanted to do that too, because
I guess we can start here for tomorrow, which is
It is
maybe
truly a black
today.
situation.
I don't know whenever you're listening.
You
It's
know, it is
Saturday the
a,
28th.
offensive defensive, electric spark here,
Opens
progress,
up
spark
with,
offense.
well,
Versus
you got
quintessential
5 games all starting at, or you got 6 games all starting at 5
But Shea Weber
or
is
7
pretty
Eastern.
solid. I don't think
So you
he
got
is.
Colorado playing Dallas.
He's the
That should actually be a pretty good game, considering
Definitely.
both these teams have played each other a few times, and they're both going to fight for that win.
hmm
You got the Rangers in Toronto. Toronto should smack them, and that's a Hockey Night in Canada game.
Or time and space to shoot. You know, you get
Depending.
10 miles per hour, 3 feet in
Rangers
the
are sneaky.
They're sneaky, but
They're not that great though.
for with Toronto coming 6 in a row,
Plus Toronto's
I think
chugging
a
right now.
7th, I have a feeling they'll just
We're not talking about the Cavs here, obviously.
they'll
We're
go
talking
in
about
there
Russell
and
Wilson, the best of all
smack
the
'em.
two players that we just talked about.
You got Montreal, Tampa Bay.
I'm about to cross myself here. But, you know,
Should be an okay game. You know, you got the Florida people cheering on for their Habs, so should be a good atmosphere at least down there in Tampa.
We're always ready to field chirps.
You got Detroit and Florida.
We were a little loose on this week. I hope
You know,
Florida should smash
Florida
'em.
should smash 'em. Like, for sure, it's a real smashing. You got Nashville, Pittsburgh. It should actually be a decent game.
Should be a
I
good
think
game.
Pittsburgh should come out with that one, though.
Nashville's really been playing decent hockey lately too.
They have been, but Pittsburgh's just fighting on the way out of a playoff spot now, and they got to recap a bit. So
Yeah,
then you got Washington, Carolina.
should be a good, really good.
Should be a really good game. Expect a celebration at the end of this game if the Hurricanes win.
Yes, yes, the jerks.
The Jerks will be dancing to something
Man,
after.
Carolina's been fucking good this year.
I-
They turned into a powerhouse. Honestly, after this year's done, everyone's gonna be considering Carolina a powerhouse in the East,
Oh yeah,
which is fucking weird.
it's weird.
Carolina, what? That's like when they won the cup. I'm like, who the fuck is this team even?
Yeah,
Carolina, what the hell?
yeah.
Got a Carolina Edmonton final. I love it. Hopefully we see something like that this year, except for not Edmonton.
And then you got Los Angeles and Vancouver. That's your night game. It's Hockey Night Canada. Oh, that's one thing I was going to talk about too, and I'm going to bring that up right at the end.
I guess that was a real point here.
And then you got, that actually the Los Angeles Vancouver game. I think Vancouver should come on top of that, but Vancouver's been struggling a little bit. So, and Vancouver beat LA, I think 7-2 that first time they met.
Right.
So I expect LA to come out a little harder here.
Doughty's-
yeah.
We were both saying it. Doughty's probably pissed off about that.
Doughty's probably a little bit mad because they chirped him on that a bit. So I'm sure he'll step up to that game. You got Arizona and Vegas. This will be a good game.
Should
in
be a
the
pretty good
heat
game.
down there in the sand.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm a Christmas guy.
I don't even know who's gonna win that game,
And, you know,
but I'll probably watch it. And then you
That
got
would be a good
Philly
game
and
to
San
watch.
Jose. Philly should win that game.
Philly's fucking playing really good now.
Um,
I remember when we made our predictions at Thanksgiving, and
Yeah.
I was like, fuck Philly, they suck.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
Yeah, like,
wrong
they're
about that.
garbage.
I'm already wrong. I already know I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, they might surprise a bunch of people.
They're probably going to be top 3 in the Metro, but we'll see when it all is said and done. But damn,
Yeah, and then on Sunday here we got Winnipeg, St. Louis. Should be a pretty good game actually. Both teams are rolling. St. Louis rolling like off last year now. Don't
Good
know what's
Central
going on
battle.
there. Jersey, Ottawa.
No one's gonna watch that.
No one's. That'll probably be the least watched game of the day. If you're gonna go shopping or something, it's at 5 Eastern, so it's probably a good time to still be at the
Get
Wild.
back for the
Dinner
7
or
o'clock
something.
games. Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You got Chicago, Columbus.
There's a lot of games on Sunday.
There is actually a lot, but you have to think there was a Christmas break here, so they got to do a bit of catching
Yeah, it's
up.
usually loaded up on this weekend.
Yeah. So you got Chicago, Columbus. Should be an okay game. Now, like I said, Chicago, they're doing things. We'll see what happens.
It's gonna be an interesting look. I don't even know. I don't know their team well enough to know who they're gonna put in defense for DeHaan and Seabrook, but that's gonna be interesting for them to figure that shit out.
Oh yeah. And it's gonna have to be quick.
Hey everyone, welcome to Boyz Broadcast.
Yeah, they don't have much time if they want to
As part of the new Hockey Podcast Network.
try and, you know,
Welcome everyone.
find
Make a
something in
push.
this season.
Jason,
Yeah.
anyone wanna talk for this one?
Yeah, and then you got the Islanders, Minnesota. Should be actually a pretty good
So,
game.
guys, this
Minnesota's on a
is
roll here
short
right
episode,
now.
obviously.
Like
Mhm.
you
We
said,
are not
14-4.
with seeing
I think
the
they're
pretty
tied
good.
in the game tonight,
This episode is
3-3 at
just
the
a little
moment,
update to let you guys know
as
we are
we're
not gonna be
looking
having
or
a Thursday episode
recording
this week.
But they're-
slash live right
Tuesday
now.
is
But they're
Christmas
playing
Eve,
the
Wednesday's Christmas.
Islanders, who
The holidays
are
right
rolling
here, so we're
too,
not gonna have a Thursday
so
episode, but we
should
will
be a
back
pretty
next
good
Monday
game there.
with all the
Definitely.
Tampa news.
You got Buffalo, Boston. Should be actually a pretty good
Rematch.
game.
Again,
Their
that's it.
rematch.
So,
Yeah.
You got Eichel just rolling.
Yeah, Eichel and Pasternak
So-
both fucking killing it this year.
Yeah, for sure. And then you got Detroit and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay better win this game,
Yeah.
but we've seen them lose to some pretty bad teams this year,
That's every time any team plays Detroit this year. It's like, well, you should probably win that game.
and they don't. So
Sometimes they don't.
yeah, and then you got Montreal, Florida. Should actually be a pretty good game. Again, you're gonna have all those Habs fans down, retired in Florida, so atmosphere should be pretty good. You might actually
Habs
get
fans.
it full sold out.
They're fucking everywhere, man.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
Yes, the holidays. where
Then
we
you
all
got
remember Christmas
Dallas,
Eve,
Arizona.
and
Again,
all
that
the
should be a
episodes
really
were
good
in
game.
case.
These
Love
teams
and
both
Granny
going to be
Brandy
fighting
and
for
other real
points.
Tennessee once a year in Big River. And you get $5 here,
Getting
$10
exciting,
here.
yeah.
And after a while, it actually
Maybe
adds up to some
Hall
real
can get a
money.
hat trick
And
or
it's also the
something.
time of
You
year
never know.
when your family with your
You got
hockey
Philly
buddies
and
can sit
Anaheim.
around the TV and watch the game.
Philly
You're
should
the
win
ones
that
giving
game.
out the key
Anaheim's
points,
not
the
the
key stats,
greatest
the
right
injured
now.
players. You know the ins and outs of the game.
And then to end the night, you got Vancouver and Calgary. And if nobody knows this, it's Joe McGinn. Joe McGinn, the bobblehead night in Calgary.
Fuck yeah.
Guy's a beauty. Had to give him a shout
Go
out.
get him go get a freaking bobblehead.
He's my boy. But that should be a pretty good game too.
Mhm.
There's gonna be lots of those Vancouver fans in the Flames building.
Yeah, it's in the dome.
And yes, Vancouver fans, it's true. You did actually come through on that big stat or whatever. You are the worst fans in the league, and that's the stat now. So
Is this? Oh,
that
was
might that might be a tattoo I get.
Oh my god. Don't tattoo anything about Vancouver on you. It's just a waste.
I just go to Vancouver, and it'd be easier to show them a tattoo than talk to them.
Just wear a Flames jersey and then just point to your tattoo.
Yeah, just lift the
Give
sleeve
it.
up. Don't even have to say anything. It's stat proof.
Yeah.
But the one thing I was going to say just before we carry off in this, Hockey Night in Canada has been actually struggling with viewership, and it actually started a little bit before the Don Cherry segment, where back in October they had about 1.3 million views. By Don Cherry's segment, actually, the last episode of Don Cherry was 1.1 million, and currently the stat in December that came out is actually 800,000.
For Hockey Night in Canada.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
So it's dropping about by 200,000 a month in the last 3 months. And you have, but take the, there was a 200,000 drop even when Don was on.
Mhm.
So very interesting.
There's more
there.
to it.
There's something more to it. I don't know if people are
That's a
getting out
really
more.
low number.
Like the attendance in the NHL in general has dropped this year, and it's not just in Canada and overall the whole thing. But it's a little interesting to see now viewership's dropping too.
Yeah, like there's what 35-ish million people in Canada,
And 800
and only
800,000 people watched last Saturday.
fucking blows my
2
mind.
Saturdays ago. Yeah.
That's ridiculously low.
Wow.
I wonder what the cause of all that is.
Now the worst part is all these programs work by viewership as their advertising money. The lower viewership you get, the lower ads you get, the lower money you get, the lower sets you can get, the lower people you can pay. Eventually it's gone.
Yeah,
Turns
seriously.
into nothing. So I'm really hoping that this isn't the start to the end of Hockey Night
Oh,
Canada.
seriously, that can't happen. It's a fucking. How long has it been around?
Before my time,
I don't even know, like
Like,
60 years?
it's gotta be
70
forever.
years?
Yeah.
That's a long time.
It's got to be 70 years, probably close to it.
Yeah. So,
But at
What's
this
not?
at this way it's going right now, by March there should be like
yeah, how's that?
300,000 viewers.
That's a big drop.
Yeah.
And like,
Doug Armstrong's era.
in a small amount of time.
Yeah. And it again,
That's shit,
it,
that's
was-
fucking
it
scary.
dropped 200,000
These are all Doug Armstrong trades.
when
So,
Don Cherry
we're gonna
was
start
there.
from the lowest to the best.
So
I feel like Hockey Night in Canada needs a big revamp. They've just been doing the same shit.
well, and
over
Rogers always
and
comes out
over.
with, we're gonna be creative, we're gonna come up with something, we're gonna replace this with something
Well, like,
awesome.
What
have they done? Nothing.
Yeah, it's like I even like kind of respected the what am I trying to say? Like the effort of switching it up, putting Strombo in there.
Yep.
It didn't really work, obviously. But hey, at least you tried something. You guys got to keep trying something because I will say that Hockey Night in Canada is just it's always the same, which is not always a bad thing. And I like the certain things like after hours. That's fucking awesome.
I love after. So
That's sick. No one does it like that.
Things that Rogers have done, like the after hours with Hockey Night in Canada, the hometown hockey.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, hometown
That's
hockey.
huge.
Fucking sick.
For how many people could not actually get to a hockey game
Yeah.
and see an actual hockey game in their lifetime, which is shocking to me because I've been to a lot of hockey games.
Yeah.
Where I've met people in my office where they're 45 and they've never been to an NHL hockey game.
That is so puzzling. And we're
Not because they don't want to go, it's because they couldn't afford to go.
yeah,
They
and
couldn't take their family of 4 or 3 or 2, whatever, to go.
Yeah. yeah, we've been fortunate in our lives.
Yeah.
We were able to go and also lived in cities where they've had
Or a
NHL
host
hockey.
city, absolutely.
That's when I was like shitting my pants like fuck if we lose the Flames from Calgary, what the fuck?
Yeah. And then you have us, which are over like dedicated fans. And when I go to like Tyler's wedding in Toronto, I'm like, oh, I'm going to a Leafs game, baby.
Yeah.
Or a lot of people would be like, oh, let's go to a winery. Oh, let's go to an art museum. Oh, let's go to something else. Right. Everyone has their own thing, but
he kept coming back.
I do that, so
yeah.
After this trade.
but that's what I'm gonna end it off with tonight. The viewership. Come on, people.
Yeah, hopefully
I'll give you a thumbs up for Don's support, but we gotta get
you
it
gotta
going.
keep watching hockey.
We gotta watch Elliot. Come on, boys.
Now.
So he goes off to Edmonton. The Blues get Payarvi
I
back.
know what I'm talking
about.
Anyway, I'm gonna run away and stop this.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for coming out, everybody. We'll see you next Friday. Peace out.
I suspected he had similar issues. So now Payarvi's in the KHL where he's apparently doing okay. Good for him. I have nothing against Payarvi. But the reason this trade is number 8 is because of that second round